Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to Wayne State University for the 2017 Athletics Hall of Fame. My name is Jason Clark, and it is my pleasure to be the Master of Ceremony for today's event. On behalf of Wayne State University and the Department of Athletics, I would like to welcome each of you to the 42nd Annual Athletic Hall of Fame celebration. Today's event is an opportunity to showcase the very best of Wayne State athletics, and it gives us great pleasure to have all of you share in this very special occasion. Now I would like to briefly introduce the Hall of Fame class of 2017. I will just ask that each of you stand and be recognized. First, Miss Cassie Chetsky, diving. Miss Sarah Franklin, swimming. Miss Sharon Gill, tennis. Miss Casey Haynes, Rammel, softball. Mr. Donald Urban, football, track, wrestling, and golf. And Mr. Michael Wiseman, baseball.
On behalf of the entire athletic department, I also want to congratulate all the inductees. This is quite an honor. This is our 42nd class, and it now brings to 237 of you so recognized, and that's a pretty elite group over 100 years. Casey Haynes, Rammel. There was one thing about Casey. When she was pitching in the game and you were sitting in that dugout, you knew when she walked to the mound, it was going to be a complete game. The only thing is, you hoped you were in the Wayne State dugout, because that was the side that was going to win. She was phenomenal, even though she only pitched 2 years for Wayne State. In fact, she holds the all-time record for wins, 72, shutouts at 32, strikeouts at 649, and career ERA at 0.67. Her senior year, she was spectacular. In fact, she almost single left-handedly pitched us all the way to a national championship. She set career marks for a single season that year. She had 42 victories on a team that won 52 games. She had 329 strikeouts, 329 innings pitched, and 366 strikeouts. You don't have to be from the math department to figure this out. Every inning, at least one of the three batters that made an out, Casey struck out. That'll help your fielders out a little bit. She finished up that year leading the nation in earned run average at 0.58. Now, unlike some of the other people that are mentioned who came in a little bit untested, Casey was already a phenomenal product when we got her. She had decided, though, that she wanted to return to Michigan. And so she sent out feelers as to schools that might be interested in her. Can you imagine being a head coach and getting an email from Sandy Koufax saying, I might like to pitch for your school? Well, Coach Bryce saw that email, and unlike some of the other coaches who couldn't believe it, he acted on it immediately. And he invited Casey for a visit. The side story to that was, as excited as Gary was and assistant coach Pat Kent was for the visit that particular day, assistant coach Kent had gone out to do a little skateboarding. Well, as all good rollerbladers would do, she had a real bad accident. In fact, so bad she couldn't get up. So she calls Coach Bryce. Gary, you got to come and get me. I'm hurt. Gary's like, where the hell are you? She's like, I'm not even sure. Gary rushes to get to the location, and he sees an assistant coach all bloodied and mangled and beat up. He's like, we got to get you to the hospital. She's like, no, we got to get to that visit to see Casey Haynes. He's like, no. He says, I got to get you to the hospital. She says, I'm not going to the hospital. We're going to go get Casey Haynes. Now, Casey's never met these guys, so she doesn't know what to expect. So here comes Coach Bryce, and here comes his assistant coach, as bandaged as you could make somebody who's just had a terrible fall and is bleeding from all over. I don't know what Casey's internal reaction was, but to break the ice, Gary said, well, that's my assistant coach, and she didn't believe you'd be a good fit in the program, but you can see I took care of that. Well, I can tell you today, Casey is a great fit for the Hall of Fame. Casey, stand up.
Miss Casey Haynes Rammel, please come forward. Casey's citation reads in part. Casey Haynes was a 2-year softball letter winner, 2009-2010. A native of Richmond, Virginia, Casey ended her career as the WSU all-time leader in strikeouts, shutouts, ERA, and tied for first in wins. In her first season at Wayne State, she was selected Daktronics All-America second team after being named the GLIAC Pitcher of the Year with a 27-9 record in 36 starts. She struck out at least 10 batters 6 times and at least 8 batters 16 times while recording a 30-9 mark as a senior. She was part of 18 shutouts while striking out 283 batters, limiting opposing batters to a 167 average. And National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Scholar Athlete Award recipient, she had a remarkable day at the GLIAC Championship where she won 3 elimination games in just 7 hours. A 2010 first-team All-American by the NFCA and Daktronics, she was the Daktronics Midwest Region Pitcher of the Year after setting WSU single-season marks for wins, innings, strikeouts, and shutouts. A second-team COSIDA Academic All-American in 2010, she was also a GLIAC Commissioner's Award winner. Including her 2 seasons at her previous school, she concluded her collegiate career 5th in NCAA history in wins, 6th in both complete games and innings pitched, 7th in shutouts, and 10th in strikeouts. She earned her marketing degree from Wayne State after being named to the academic honor roll all 6 semesters, including 4 terms above a 3.5 grade point average. President Wilson, it gives me great pleasure to present Casey Haynes Rammel for induction into the Wayne State University Athletics Hall of Fame.
Thank you. And thank you to all the Hall of Fame and committee members and Jeff Weiss for all the hard work, time, and effort put into this event. And congratulations to all my other fellow inductees, class of 2017 as well. I have to thank my family for all of their support they've shown me throughout the years, and thank you to my parents, grandpa, and siblings for being here with me today. Thank you to my husband and my 18-month-old son who are here to share this special moment with me and all the support and love they have shown me. And we are soon welcoming our second child in June. Also, thank you to my mother and father-in-law for making the trip up from Ohio. I appreciate the support. Thank you to Coach Bryce and Coach Kent for making this all possible. From the first email I sent you guys, Mr. Fournier kind of alluded to our first meeting a little bit. I won't go too much into that. I was intimidated, needless to say, but it was a great meeting nonetheless, and I appreciate you guys responding to that email and making everything work out. These 2 coaches are extremely dedicated and passionate about Wayne State softball. Their determination and will to win shined through and ultimately made my decision very easy. Coach Bryce always had an open door when we would need anything, and Coach Kent had a dedication like no one I had ever met before. She has another full-time job, for those of you who don't know, but she was never too busy to be there when we played. We would go down for our spring trip to Florida. She would fly down for the weekend, come back home to teach for a week, come back down the following weekend. She was on the road a lot for us. This past year, she received the Assistant Coaching of the Year award, which if it would have existed back when I played, I'm sure she would have gotten it then too, for all the hard work she put in. This would have never been possible without my teammates behind me every day. They made me a better pitcher knowing I had their trust and they had my back. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by some of the hardest working teammates. We had a couple of successful years that I was lucky enough to be a part of because of the hard work put in on and off the field by them. Another coach that deserves as much recognition is Coach Paul Herker. He was our strength and conditioning coach. We went to him and asked him to put extra workouts together for us. He never turned us away, and he was always out there on the football field with us. I'm a big believer. He's another main reason that we were in the Final 8 in 2010 when we went to the College World Series. We had the leadership on that team to take us to that level, and the underclassmen that believed and trusted in us enough to put the hard work in. A big thank you to my parents. They helped me throughout the years and dedicated a lot of their time to the game of softball. They made all the trips and didn't miss a game. Whether it was rec ball or college ball, I could always count on seeing them on the sidelines or from my dad down the left field line. After my first year I redshirted, my parents were trying to make the move back up from Virginia, and all my siblings were here in Michigan with me. I wanted to get back with my family. They made the transition back up very easy. I'm a big homebody, close to my parents, so having them down in Virginia I thought would be pretty tough that first year. It wasn't that bad with all my siblings back up here and always had that open door for me. I thank them for that. It would have been a very hard year. There have been a lot of memories made and lessons learned throughout the years, and thank you again for this opportunity, and congratulations to the other inductees, class of 2017.